This is a crocodile, 16 feet of prehistoric murder machine. Thousands of years ago, a human being walked up to one of these, slid gold bracelets onto its legs, fed it strips of meat by hand, and called it a pet. That's real. And by the time we get back to it, you'll understand why it might be the most disturbing thing on this list. Before then, there's a hyena somebody decided to feed by hand, a lion that slept next to a king, a cheetah walked through a palace like a house cat. Your history class quietly left every one of these out. We start with the tamest animal on the list. Don't get comfortable because the whole point is how fast tame turns into insane. Hedgehogs. Thousands of years ago, the pet everyone wanted wasn't soft or fluffy. It was a hedgehog. They earned their place on the floor. At night, a hedgehog would patrol the house and eat every beetle and roach it could find. A living pest control unit that also, conveniently, was believed to bring good luck. Then there's the detail nobody puts on the postcard. The same people harvested hedgehog spines to comb and card wool, which meant your charming little roommate was always one bad week from being demoted into a household tool. Pet and equipment sat on basically the same shelf, so that's a pet that pulled its weight. The next animal pulled nothing at all, and that was exactly the appeal. Monkeys. Monkeys were the first pet on this list kept for no reason except how they made you look. In some ancient cultures, they were symbols of play, riding around on children's shoulders learning tricks. In others, they were woven into religious life and treated as close to the gods. And among the wealthy, a monkey became pure currency of status, hauled in from distant lands and owned almost only by the rich. The uncomfortable version goes a step further. Rich households with no children sometimes kept a monkey as a stand-in, dressing it up and treating it like a baby, right up until the animal matured, turned territorial, and bit the very hand feeding it. A wild thing stays wild no matter what outfit you put on it. A monkey was what you bought to look rich. The next animal was what you owned once you already were. Cheetahs, the fastest land animal alive, sitting at the foot of a throne. Ancient peoples believed the cheetah was a gift from the gods. Kings and rulers kept them inside the palace walls, fastened jeweled collars around their necks, and loosed them on hunts to run gazelle into the ground. Some rode out to hunt with a cheetah balanced on horseback right beside them. Read that as the ancient version of parking a supercar in your living room, except this one breathes, has claws, and hits 70 miles an hour. The message to everyone watching was simple. I am wealthy enough and powerful enough to put a leash on speed itself. The cheetah was kept to chase things down. Its heavier cousin was kept for the exact opposite reason, to make sure nothing ever chased the king. Lions grown lions. Mane, teeth, the whole thing, living inside the palace. To an ancient king, a lion was kingship made flesh, and it doubled as the most intimidating security detail imaginable. Believed to drive off evil, a lion might be posted beside the throne or left to sleep near the ruler at night, 400 pounds of muscle with a built-in alarm system. Some rulers raised the cubs from birth so the bond would hold. Now stand in the sandals of a palace servant. You step into a chamber and there's the king, idly stroking an apex predator that could erase you mid-sentence. The unhinged part isn't that someone tried it once. It's that it worked often enough to repeat for centuries, across one ruling house after another. A lion at least looked the part. The next animal had no grace and no obvious business being anywhere near a human home. Hyenas. The hyena. Bone-crushing jaws, zero charm. The one animal most people today wouldn't share a fenced enclosure with. Ancient rulers kept it anyway. Carvings on ancient tombs actually show hyenas flipped onto their backs being fed by hand. Why is still up for debate? Maybe fattening them to eat, maybe taming them for the hunt, possibly both. The fact that historians can't agree only makes the image sit worse. Sit with the confidence it took. We have tranquilizers, reinforced cages, and modern training, and we still file hyenas under do not touch. Someone back then looked at one with a rope and a spear and decided it was joining the family. Every animal so far was kept for a reason a person could at least put into words. The final one was kept for a reason that needed no explaining at all. They were convinced it was a god. Crocodiles. Which brings us back to the crocodile. Start with what a crocodile actually is. A killing machine older than the dinosaurs. No fear, no mercy, just jaws and patience. Fall in the water with one, and there's no struggle. A splash, then silence. Now picture bowing to it. In a city built entirely around these creatures, priests raised sacred crocodiles in temple pools, fed them bread, meat, and wine by hand, and dressed them in gold. Earrings fitted to their scales, bangles on their legs, gemstones glinting on a creature evolution designed for exactly one job. Their deaths got the royal treatment too. Mummified, wrapped in linen, laid to rest with full ceremony. Archaeologists have since pulled thousands of mummified crocodiles out of the ground. a few with tiny hatchlings arranged gently across their backs. So picture it, a priest deep in a temple pouring wine into the mouth of a gold-covered monster he honestly believes is a god. And here's the part that should mess with you a little. None of these were really pets. They were trophies. Look what I can tame. The deadlier the animal, the bigger the flex. Easy to feel smug about that, right? We'd never. So jump ahead a few thousand years. Someone makes this exact video about us. What makes the list? Birds in cages the size of a shoebox. Dogs bred with faces so flat they can barely breathe. Whole buildings built so we can file past animals that never asked to be there. To them, we're the crocodile people. We didn't end the weirdness. We're just the part nobody's laughed at yet. Whether it's ancient humans making terrible decisions or the terrifying reality of what it would actually feel like to poop on other planets, the universe is just a deeply weird place. I spend my time animating the absolute weirdest, most bizarre topics I can find. Subscribe. And seriously, don't get a crocodile.